Hi guys, it's October 21, 2014. This is the video that I said that I was going to do 2 days ago about the heavy spraying that occurred, and I'm going to show you what the sky looked like in a minute, but I wanted to pass this article along. I'm not going to be reading it, but it is short and it is simple, and it's written by Russell L. Blaylock, who is a neurosurgeon, impacts of chemtrails on human health, nanoaluminum, neurodegenerative and neurodevelopmental effects. Very good article. I hope that you click on the link below and come over here and read it. I will be actually reading from this article, which lists a whole lot of symptoms that are related to the aerosols, to the spraying that is occurring. Heavy metals, toxic chemicals. They're dropping so many different substances upon us, and we're breathing them in. And you know, so many people are freaked out about Ebola and the other viruses that are spreading around the country. And meanwhile, we have been pretty much on a daily basis being sprayed with viruses and bacteria and fungi and heavy metals and chemicals that is destroying our health, destroying our immune system, and is the reason for a whole lot of health problems that a whole lot of Americans are now experiencing. You know, the toxic toll that this spraying that has been going on for years, the toxic toll that it is taking on people's health is really manifesting now. I mean, we're seeing exponential increases in so many diseases and illnesses and syndromes and allergies and asthma and respiratory illnesses. We're being killed off. We don't need Ebola. Ebola is just a little bit faster. But we've been the boiling frog as we've been sprayed like roaches every day for years. A really long, at least a decade and a half. A spraying that has increased over the years, and now now our air is absolutely toxic. And so when we have these heavy spray days, well, it increases the intensity. And I've noticed that my symptoms, the onset is quicker, the intensity is far worse, and I know that I'm not alone in this. And the reason why I put up these videos periodically is to let others know that they're not alone. There's a lot of people who are waking up who might not attribute their symptoms to what they're breathing. They may go to the doctor. They'll end up getting a prescription. That's only going to make matters worse. So there are detoxes. Do the research. Detoxes for heavy metals. There's a whole lot that people can do. And maybe we can't eliminate these common symptoms that many of us now are experiencing on a daily basis. But in terms of getting flu and viruses and something far worse, well, we won't get that if we really build up our immune system. And unfortunately, what we're breathing is destroying our immune system. So we really have to do the vitamin C, vitamin D3, eat raw garlic. I always say that because garlic can kill off a whole lot. Colloidal silver. Do the research, find out all the natural ways to boost your immune system. So anyway, this is what my day looked like 2 days ago, and actually yesterday it was just as bad. The article. Over the past 10 years, through research and the personal accounts of many individuals, it has become readily apparent that the aluminum and barium salt mixtures, polyfibers, polymer fibers, toxic chemicals, and biologicals sprayed in the atmosphere are the irritants that are either directly or indirectly responsible for health problems on the rise in the United States and elsewhere. These toxic particulates are rapidly absorbed from the respiratory system and or the gastrointestinal tract and are deposited in the lungs, muscles, and bone. This illegal aerial spraying is producing atmospheric and ground conditions detrimental to human and animal health, but favorable to the growth of harmful molds and fungus. So here's a partial list of health problems reported by private citizens to chemtrail researchers. Nose and lung bleeds, asthma, allergies, allergic bronchopulmonary aspergillosis, ABPA, fungus on the lungs in both infants and adults, flu, bronchitis, pneumonia in epidemic proportions, with doctors commenting to their patients on the many weeks it sometimes takes to improve and the lack of effective antibiotics to treat, including reports of pets having the flu, whole families being decimated, meningitis, inflammation and infection of the brain, upper respiratory symptoms, wheezing, dry cough, including PDS, pulmonary distress syndrome, in newborns, infants, and adults alike, sudden infant death, SIDS, and increased nationwide reports of the sudden death of athletes, reported in the news media as having possibly been attributable directly to air particulates and pollution. Deaths from black mold, black or red mold on food crops, farmers reporting pH changes of soil and water in buildings and ventilation systems, including school buildings, arthritis-like symptoms and muscular pain, young and old alike, sometimes crippling, and in pets, gastrointestinal distress, young and old alike, and in pets, bladder and yeast infections, includes bedwetting, not just in infants but adults, extreme fatigue, young and old alike, ringing of the ears, dizziness, increasingly reported immediately preceding or after a storm or weather system, eye problems, pink eye, blurred and deteriorating vision, nervous tics after exposure to the air outdoors, dry, cracking skin and lips, rashes, sores, and fungal infections, aging of the skin, mental confusion, slow thinking. Excuse me, my throat has been sore 4 days. My eyes are burning, my nose is burning. I have so many symptoms, it's unbelievable that we're living this nightmare. But mental confusion, slow thinking, and the feeling of mentally being in a fog, well, I'm constantly in a fog. Sometimes it just gets really dense, which gets a little scary. But young and old alike are experiencing that, increasingly reported after actually being in heavy mists and fog banks. Autoimmune disorders, lupus, Crohn's, Addison's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, and some of the above symptoms, illnesses can be related to other physical environmental factors such as dehydration. But aluminum, which is like the primary metal that they are spraying, nano aluminum particulates that we're breathing in, the excessive amounts of aluminum can result in symptoms of poisoning. The symptoms include constipation, colic, loss of appetite, nausea, skin ailments, twitching of leg muscles, excessive perspiration, and loss of energy. All of which I have except for constipation and colic. And not really skin ailments, though my skin is quite dry these days. People with aluminum poisoning should discontinue the use of aluminum cookware and the drinking of tap water. And the aluminum, from deodorants and toothpaste, avoid that as well. Just try to knock out as much aluminum as you can, because we are breathing it in on a daily basis now. Small quantities of soluble salts of aluminum present in the blood causes slow form of poisoning characterized by motor paralysis and areas of local numbness, with fatty degeneration of kidney and liver. There are also anatomical changes in the nerve centers and symptoms of gastrointestinal inflammation. In the last few years, there has been much publicity about aluminum, as well as a tentative connection of aluminum to Alzheimer's. The clinical picture is clear that Alzheimer's is concurrently involved with aluminum toxicity, and he also believes it is the major contributing factor to Alzheimer's. It will progressively worsen in North America in the coming year because of the pervasive use of aluminum. Aluminum has a tendency to freeze up or irritate nerve endings, producing spasm. When someone is going through aluminum detoxification, it can actually look like an advanced case of Alzheimer's. I'm also going to read this list of symptoms, and I will link below to all of the articles. So, the symptoms associated with chemtrails. Aneurysms. Components of chemtrails are believed to block arteries and weaken arterial walls, leading to aneurysms and eventually deadly strokes. Nanoparticulate aluminum builds up in capillaries, causing blockages, eventually leading to aneurysms and strokes, heart attacks. Barium dramatically lowers potassium in mammals, leading to heart fibrillations and heart attacks. In fact, barium is used in animal testing to artificially induce heart attacks. Cancer. Most of the components of chemtrails suppress the immune system. When the immune system is suppressed for extended periods, cancer grows and thrives. And here are some common symptoms that a whole lot of people have reported. Fatigue, headaches, sinus pain, muscle pain, joint pain, frequently cracking joints, depression, panic attacks, anxiety, hyperactivity, insomnia, tooth decay, especially at the gum line, anxiety, anger issues, inability to focus or concentrate, looping thoughts or songs, salty metallic taste in the air, chemical taste to the air, swelling, inflammation, Morgellons, itchy skin, rashes, sores, ringing in the ears, changes in eyesight, near or far-sightedness, upper respiratory infections, elevated blood pressure, accelerated heartbeat, heart pain, heart fibrillations, heart attack, shortness of breath, loss of balance, dark circles under the eyes, stomach pain, nausea, frequent illness, shallow, unrestful sleep, vivid or restless dreams, rapid and premature aging. That last one, I definitely got that one going. And I'm also, which I'm not even, I can't even remember if I read this, but heart palpitations. I've been experiencing more and more heart palpitations. And muscle weakness, which it comes on suddenly, that non-flu thing that I've talked about, that is happening more frequently. The muscle weakness actually is concerning because it really is laying me out. And the heart palpitations, a couple of days ago, that day that I'm showing you, that day I had heart palpitations, not badly, but I could feel the slight flutter. And it lasted for about 20 minutes. I have never experienced it that long. Usually I'll have heart palpitations and they'll go away within, a couple of seconds. But the other point that I want to make is that I'm sure a lot of people who are experiencing depression and anger and anxiety and panic attacks and hyperactivity and insomnia and all these kinds of things, and they may end up in the mental health system getting prescribed psychiatric medication, which will really compound their problems. They're not mentally ill. They're just living in an extremely toxic environment today, which is causing a whole gamut of symptoms. Not just physical, but emotional, mental. It also says in this article something about cognitive impairment, memory loss. Well, I'm hearing from a whole lot of people who are having a great deal of difficulty with their memory lately. And, just even reading is hard for me these days because there are times when I'm suddenly like slurring my words. That's another symptom. I'm speaking words that are not on the page. So I'm constantly having to edit or do it again. This spraying is really causing a whole lot of problems. So, guys, I want you all to be well. Boost your immune systems. Ciao.